It's on now, Dave.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the bowels of hell, the Drink and Draw Social Club Power Hour with Dan Panosian, Jeff Johnson, Dave Johnson, and Joe Casada. Tonight's guest is Jimmy Palmiotti because Tommy Lee Edwards apparently can't keep power at his house, but maybe next week. And here we go. Somebody talk.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jeff.
Guys, can you hear me? Dan, I see you.
I see you, Jeff. I see you, and you sound a little distorted, so we're already having technical difficulties.
I can't hear Jeff.
Oh, sons of bitches.
Yeah. I mean, we are plagued with sound issues, and they're mostly in Oregon, I'm noticing.
Oh, God. It's a very odd state.
I'll say.
So I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's good to be back.
You look really clear.
I heard I was replaced for a while.
Well,
you were replaced.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good, Jeff. For a week
those were actually some of the best episodes we've ever had.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
Jeff, where were you? Pray tell.
I was in New Zealand, doing a couple of comic book shows and having meetings with various people at their animation colleges there.
Have you ever been to Old Zealand?
Old Zealand. I can't say that I have.
That is true. That is true. Like, why would they name it New Zealand? Was there an Old Zealand?
I think it was just. I think they called it just Zealand.
Really?
Simply Zealand.
It was simply Zealand.
They're like enough.
Well, yeah, it was probably Zealand, and then they did like a new Coke thing. You know what I mean? Wanted to sort of change the branding, right?
Kind of like that shitty new Butterfinger bar.
Okay, let's.
Ugh, terrible.
Is it bad?
I didn't know there was a new Butterfinger bar.
They new and improved it, but now they've just turned it into a Fifth Avenue bar. It's more peanutty, but it no longer tastes like Butterfinger.
Well, you know, a Butterfinger actually tastes like a Clark bar.
You guys know a lot about candy for grown men.
Jimmy, yeah. Jimmy probably loves the
candy.
Clark bar. But Joe, you remember like the Clark bar ads that was Jack Davis stuff. And they had the Wolfman.
Oh yeah.
Clark bar predates the Butterfinger bar, but they taste identical.
Are they the same company, Dan?
Oh no, Jeff.
Tell me about the Butterfinger bar Clark bar wars. I missed out, Granddad.
I don't know if there were wars necessarily, but anytime I saw a Clark bar ad, double page spread, mind you, back in the days of the Marvel Comics and DC Comics, I'd definitely have to go out. It definitely influenced my candy buying.
Is there a Clark in particular that bar was named after?
I think it was.
That's an excellent question.
You know.
Well, isn't the Fifth Avenue bar just like the Clark bar?
I've never had a Fifth Avenue bar, and I don't think I ever will.
But I can tell you what that's named after.
What?
6th Avenue.
What?
Yeah.
Scintillating conversation.
This is why the people tune in. And I have a paintbrush. Jeff, no, I'm not. I'm going to use this to stir my drink. So I got some Beefeater gin.
Nice.
Delicious. Really cheap. And I have some, I'm going to class it up a little bit with some La Croix.
Listen, Dan, stop talking for a second. There's two things I need to address here, okay? The first thing is the elephant in the room. Look at that haircut on Dave Johnson.
Yes.
It is pretty sharp, I have to say.
I did it myself.
Did you really?
I did.
It's like a lack of my haircut.
I hate going to barbershops and
what did you use a Flowbee or a
the wall kit, you know, with all the clips, the various
there's that new infomercial now, right? With it's got a bunch of military guys like cutting their hair with whatever sort of like military. That's what you did, man. You ordered this stuff from TV. You did.
I mean,
Dave.
It's a classic high and tight. It looks just like the haircut I had in basic training.
There you go.
It's a smart looking haircut. Yeah.
Jeff, your Wonder Woman could use a little bit of a haircut.
But
here's the Woman drawing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I realized with Dave's haircut. You have a magnificently shaped head.
It's huge.
He should just go bald.
Well, I'm not talking about proportionally to the rest of your body. It's horrific. But from the neck up,
that's never worked.
Yeah, from the neck up, it's actually a nicely shaped skull you got there. Dave.
If you just
it's actually a little bit lopsided. When I completely shaved my head, I found that out.
Just take a compliment, for Christ's sake.
Oh, I'm just being honest. I'm giving you more information.
He's super honest.
So the second thing we need to address here is the fact that the reason Tommy Lee really isn't here is because there was a technical screw up. Because half of us thought it was Tommy Lee, the drummer, and the other half thought it was Tommy Lee Edwards, and that was a whole mess there. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Huge mess.
Well, I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah, everybody thinks that.
Oh,
he draws in one of those rolling cages. So.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta say something. Without a doubt, different guitar, Joe.
What?
The guitar in the back. That's like a ukulele contraption. I don't know what that is.
Guitar. It's a 6-string guitar. It could be a 6-string guitar, but it's obviously different from the guitar. It's a new guitar you bought. Congratulations. We talked about this before. That's the camping guitar I have. It's just like a little travel guitar. It just fits into.
It's the same. Yeah, you can still see the Thor picture behind it. You wouldn't be able to see it. We've been able to
travel. Do you travel from town to town, playing? Like songs about heroes and stuff for coins.
Speaking of songs, we might have a song coming up from
Resident
Hero.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
I heard about this. I'm excited.
Jeff, you haven't heard it. I've heard it. Dave's heard it. I know Joe has heard it.
We're gonna play that as our outro song.
Yeah. We have a drink and draw theme song, and not too many live streams have their own custom-made song like that. A lot of times they'll.
Dave's already dedicated to outro. Yeah, when the show's over, we can play.
When we're no longer broadcasting, you can email us and we'll send you a clip.
It's like Dave's nice way of saying, "Hey man, I know you spent a few hours writing and recording this thing, so I'm going to give you like the very end of the show, but no effing way we're going to open the show."
Is there? I hate to be the fly in the ointment, but can I hear it now?
It's not ready yet, is it?
Well, it's really a rough.
The recording is, I don't even know how I'd have to play it over my speakers and it would sound kind of crappy. I don't know. Is there a way to do it?
If you played it on your computer, I think it would naturally. Are you streaming?
No, you need to. Well, if you do the thing where your computer is your screen, I think there's sound that way.
Let's experiment with that another day. Or worst case scenario, I'll play it live on my guitar. On my guitar.
On your lute.
Yeah.
I would love any of those things to happen.
You are kind of the bard of drink and draw.
It was the only one. What you mean?
Do you wear leggings when you play the guitar? Like,
and they're laced up on the thigh, on the sides.
I like to go 60s folk singer. I got a little beret. I do I wear the harmonica with the bracket, even though I don't play the harmonica.
I'd really like to see the braided lace up on the sides, like Or
what's that coffee filter they used to wear around their necks?
Coffee filter.
That thing that kind of looks like a coffee filter. Back in the 16th or 15th century.
It's a harmonica. Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's that white, kind of a ruffly thing that they. Basically, what it was they would use that they would put perfume in that so they wouldn't have to smell their nasty.
You mean that lace ruffle thing?
Yeah. Right. It was a way to keep the smell from their body hitting their nose because they would only take showers every month or something, or 6 months. That's why perfume was developed. It was to mask the body odor of French people.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so
French exclusively, I see.
We got some questions, guys. First of all, Lex74, what happened to the show last week? Yeah, what happened to the show last week?
I blame Dan for that. He just decided that he had to be at a con instead of doing this. Yeah. And we couldn't get a guest, so it was a double hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Grifter R1 says that he's watching us up on the 55. I'm going to assume that's a 55-inch screen. He says because bigger is better. Dave, can you imagine how massive your head must be right now?
Oh, jeez. All right, let me go back. I didn't realize I was that far away.
I don't know if that's wise.
I apologize. That's a horrific thing to have to deal with. I will keep my distance from the camera.
Wait, so Dan,
Benji Perez is saying this is the best YouTube channel ever. Benji, you're clearly a man of poor taste.
Yeah, I think he's insane. I think this is the only channel he's ever watched.
Where
I
else
think that
can you
might be
get
it.
the hot news on candy bars? Like no one else is tackling
Hot
that really,
news.
the really controversial topic.
And a tutorial on how to draw a million pieces of hair.
Yeah.
Oh, and Benji also adds, Dan, just for you, it'd be funny if Joe started switching the guitars for real, just to troll you, Dan. So
Yeah, that would be funny.
maybe I'll start doing that.
There's no way he has enough guitars to do that.
No man could do that.
Yeah.
I only got 2 guitars.
Yeah, he's only got the one.
And a bass.
I hear Joe can rock the bass.
What was that?
Nothing.
So Dan,
all right.
how was the show, Dan? You're back now.
I'm back. It was Heroes Con was fantastic. Very enjoyable. It's nice to see friends and feel that support from your comrades in arms.
Now
It's
that's
a wonderful thing.
right. Like how is the weather?
Well, I mean, that's the question I'm always asking when I'm at a show because I'm indoors and signing. So I'm like, how is the weather here?
Yeah, that question drives me crazy because I mean, I'm sitting in the same spot the entire show, and I'm like, yeah, I guess it's okay. I haven't gotten up once. My table's all right. The chair usually sucks, but what are you gonna do?
Have you ever been? Here's a question, and it bothers some people, some guests. Have you ever been to a show, Dave? And there's a certain green room for someone that might be a celebrity of some kind, and then you're in a closet, And are you ever a little bit miffed about that?
A little miffed at that, I mean,
I never give a fuck because guess what? I'm not there for the green room.
That's exactly.
I think it's a level of respect. When Chewbacca Mom has a better access to a better green room.
That's all she has, though.
Than
she has in life,
comic book people. It kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Listen, guys, I have to be really honest about this because the shows that I go to, I'm allowed into the green room. I have access. Well, you're I'm so thrilled that guys like you cannot.
Yeah, I bet that's true. So I have to say, Dan, if I might, when I was at the New Zealand shows, that's one of the really nice things about them is that they treat the comic guest and the voice actors and the actors. We all get the same stuff.
Oh yeah, same with European shows. They treat everybody with the same respect. It's awesome.
The green room is nice. Maybe I haven't been to a really nice green room, but
they usually let me in. By the way,
there's massages and there's free booze and they're nice. Yeah. I don't mind them.
No, the one in Paris. I mean, they had.
Your request, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Ooh, a Jeff request?
From Renfrew, Jeff. We're all here to watch you spend an hour shading the cleavage, so get to it.
Yeah, come on.
I will get to the cleavage as soon as I'm done with the rest of the hair.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, we got one really good question, guys. Just to go around the table. Sorry. Let's see.
Is there a character or book?
Yeah.
That you have never worked on but would like to draw? That's from Stephen Beerfield.
Okay. Go ahead, Dan. You love this question.
I'd like to pencil and ink like Logan or Wolverine.
That'd be nice.
And Conan, I'd like to take a stab at the Marvel version because to me that's the quintessential. That's what got me hooked on comics and phonics. So I got to read via comics.
I'm actually partial to Marvel's Gamecock. I've always thought he got a bad rap, like in the sense of things.
You'd be great at that.
Especially since he was eaten by a character named Puma. I think we need to bring him back.
I don't think I'm familiar with Gamecock.
No, you probably aren't, Jeff.
Yeah.
Neither
is the majority of Marvel.
What about you, Joey? Because you've had you're still working on the career a little bit. There's probably a lot of untouched characters.
Yeah, a few here and there. No, honestly, I've been really fortunate. I've gotten to work on a lot of the characters that I love, and it's weird because every once in a while you just sort of get an itch to work on a character. Like, wow, I never thought I'd want to work on that character, and then suddenly, I want to do that. So
How do you feel about Hawkman? If you don't mind me asking.
Nah, Hawkman sucks.
All right, I'll take Hawkman then.
Yeah, you'll take it since Joe doesn't.
Well, now that the competition's out, I'll just take Hawkman.
Yeah, feathers, wings are hard, man. They're a pain.
Yeah, Hawkman sucks.
I think bicycles, like I think we've discussed this, bicycles are a little harder to draw than, say, feathers.
Not if you got circle templates.
Oh, fair.
I know you'd hate those.
I don't like templates.
Not if you draw them right, Dan.
Jeff, how about you?
I'm jealous of you. I've always wanted to draw Conan.
You have drawn it, and we have a little story about that.
But we told that story already.
It's painful, yeah.
Yeah. I would like to do Conan, but if not Conan, I've always had a soft spot for DC's Warlord.
Oh, yeah, I can see you doing that.
I always thought that would be fun. Or
Mike Drell, man, that was a great book.
It was a great book. If it was ever revamped, a long time ago, I was supposed to do a new Magnus robot fighter for Valiant, but that never happened.
Did you ever read the Richard Corbin version of it was a short story that was basically true, but it was a kind of a parody of Magnus, and it was Jimmy's on.
Jimmy
supposedly. There he is.
Jimmy Palmiotti.
Can you hear me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey guys.
Hi, Jimmy.
Dressed up for the show and everything. I like that. Thanks, Jimmy. Very classy.
I put a collar on for you, Dan.
Yeah, because you know how I am.
I know how you are about that kind of stuff.
Policy.
Jimmy, they say you were eating at the Olive Garden tonight.
No, that was
Frank.
Frank, I think it's the wrong person. Although I do go to Carrabba's down here, which Frank says is the exact same thing, but it is far from it.
Which is better?
You mean by mileage, right?
Yeah. Is there anything that Frank likes? Like if you said something and he goes, "Yeah, good, you made a good choice there," or "I support that."
No.
Never. That's never happened.
I haven't heard too much positive from him.
Well, here's a better question.
If Frank, he's very picky about everything.
Right. Yeah, he is.
Here's a question: is there anything Frank would recommend that you go, "Oh yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I'll try that."
Okay, so I was going to Hawaii. I was going to Hawaii last year, and Frank goes, "Well, if you're going to Hawaii, I got a guy." Wow. He said that.
I'm worried about that.
And I was like, "You got a guy in Hawaii?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a guy in Hawaii." And I started making fun of him, like saying, "All right, what does this guy do?" And you got a guy in Hawaii, and he just said, "That's it. You're not my guy in Hawaii. You're off the list. You don't get to see my guy in Hawaii."
Right.
So,
because you questioned the nature of the guy.
Right, I did. I actually wanted to know and I said, "What is he, a bookie or something?" And he just got quiet, and he says, "You no longer have that guy. You can't use that guy."
You had to go.
So, Jimmy, you may know this already. Right? But just the fact that you just told this story, Frank will call you either after the show or tomorrow morning and just yell at you like, "That's not what I said." The week after he was on the show, I talked about the fact that he told me he was going to take me out to dinner, and hey, excuse me for assuming that he was going to pay because he said, "I'm going to take you out to dinner." And
that's what it means, taking you out.
Yeah. When the check came, let's just say, Frank was nowhere to be found. So at the moment,
You did get endless breadsticks out of it, didn't you, Joe?
No, I wouldn't let him take me there. So I told the story. I told it facetiously. Look, in truth, I don't know if he actually said he was going to pay or not, but I pretty much remember it that way. But okay, let's assume I got it wrong.
Okay.
He called me up the next day. Oh my god! It just never ended. What do you mean? I'm just joking. I'm laughing. I'm like, Frank, we're joking. We're. Oh, he was very upset about that. So his guy in Hawaii. You're never going to hear the end of this.
Well, I mean,
that's it. You no longer have that guy. Forget it.
It doesn't matter. I don't have that guy. He told me I can't use his guy in Hawaii anymore. So that's already off the table. I don't get to use him. Tomorrow he might call me and tell me I'm also can't use his guy somewhere else I'm going because of it. So I don't know if I just
according to Jimmy, he's never even. Jimmy. According to Frank, he has never watched the show.
I think we're safe. Because that would take.
Listen, he watched the episode afterwards religiously to see if we talked about him. By the way, everything else I said about him, he agreed with 100%.
Right.
Destroyed my house. Jimmy, he was here for an hour. I was cleaning up for 6 hours. It was unbelievable. It was
what did he do?
So
it's like having a wild animal, like literally going to the Bronx Zoo, saying, "Give me the most unruly, wild animal, the one you can't control. I want it in my house," and that's what it's like.
Did he leave an upper decker or?
What was that?
I don't even know what that is.
Upper decker would have been an improvement. It would have been a step up to what he left behind here.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, I'm scared to ask. What?
Let me explain this now.
What is an upper decker?
I can't believe you've never heard of an upper decker.
I don't know what an upper decker is.
You know what, Dave? Just leave one at his house next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Well, I mean, where Jeff lives, I'm pretty sure he only has an outhouse. He's out in the boonies. So.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of hard to leave an upper decker there.
Maybe you have to leave it on his roof of his house. That's By the way, Joe, no matter what, you're getting the phone call tomorrow from him.
Probably.
Probably. A wild animal in your house.
I'm just not picking up. He told me I was off. You know what Frank's thing is, you're off my hello. You're off the hello list. You're off the hello.
Well, yeah, he did take you off the hello list.
Yeah. But he said you're off the hello list in person, but I'll still text you. So that week, Dan and I and Frank we're in a group text, and I'm like, and he said something, and I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'm off your personal hello list. You're off my text hello list. So,
wow.
every time he texted me, I went back and I would take like his blocks of text and I would go into Photoshop and I just blank them out and resend them and say Dan, can you please tell me what Frank is saying? And Frank calls me up. He's like, did you block me? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I started laughing. I'm like, I don't think I can block you on I mean, I guess I can block your phone number, but I can't like have your text bubbles appear invisible, right?
Yeah.
He
loved that.
He'll be outside your house in around 20 minutes.
with some other guy. With a guy you never
with this guy from Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to call bullshit. I don't think Frank has a guy in Hawaii. First of all, Frank would have to wear shorts if he was in Hawaii, and that's never going to happen. So
Jimmy, we had a question from one of the fans on the stream. If there was one character you would love to work on right now, what would it be?
Yeah, that you haven't worked on.
Oh, that I haven't worked on.
Yeah, you have worked on. Yeah,
that's kind of key here.
That's tough because I think.
Because I've written everything, right? Jimmy?
No. I mean, you're not taking into consideration. I also inked a lot of stuff, you know.
Oh, true.
So that kind of.
Let's leave it to writing since you've
writing.
You've forsaken inking.
Yeah, I guess that's hard. I'm having a problem. Nothing. I've done it all at DC. Marvel. Master of Kung Fu, maybe.
Good choice.
You know,
that'd be a good book.
Because that was one I loved when I was, Galassi and Doug Mensch, and then I got to ink Galassi on a later series we did like 6 years ago, but I never got to write the characters. And for me, I like the Master Kung Fu James Bond mix.
Speaking of James Bond, and I'm not to interrupt, but I am interrupting.
Go ahead.
I'm making some James Coburn right here.
Oh, nice.
Well,
our man Flint.
Keep the yellow marker away from it, will you?
I love my our man Flint when I was a kid.
You're gonna draw his arthritis hands? No,
yeah.
Too late.
I already did.
Joe, are you actually? Can we see what you're drawing?
No,
not all of it. I'll zoom into a panel or two in a second. I'm just looking at some questions here. Let's see, Dan, you elect 74. Dan, you should do the show covered in Coke and baby oil. I think we all.
I agree with that.
Everyone agrees.
He's always covered in Coke and baby oil.
Yeah.
And Steve Bearfield, who asked the questions, says Dan definitely would love to see you do a Logan book.
Thank you.
But Benji Perez would like to see you do Lobo, which is
that'd be a fun one to write and draw.
Yeah. You mean the band?
Yeah. Lobo.
Like biopic.
Yeah.
Lobo's fun. I wrote that. I got to write Lobo for Bisley, and for Harley, the Harley Lobo thing. And Simon drew her topless, and him with no pants. He did whatever he wanted on it. It was amazing but Amanda had to draw all these little cartoon red flags that we had to cover all the private parts with, these little tiny red flags for the whole book. So there was a lot of little red flags running around that issue.
How did he handle that? What did he say about that?
He's like, "Oh, you just put a word balloon in front of it. Don't worry about it." You know, look, it was great. So it just made us like kind of have to do a little extra work, but it actually made the actual story funnier with all the little red flags.
Yeah.
But you know, they fooled around in the book, and then there's some new Lobo character, and they're saying that it's like Lobo's daughter. And they're saying it came from the book I wrote. And I'm like, sure, why not? You know, what do I care? You know,
it'd be nice to get royalties on that,
but whatever.
That's not why we do comics, Dave.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's true.
Dave, out of all of us, should know that that's not how it works.
Oh yeah.
Hey Dan, I gotta say, I've known you for a long time.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
You're looking a little like you're on edge, like you got some anger, like pent up anger.
What?
Did you ever watch any Abbott and Costello episodes?
Yeah.
The Susquehanna Hat Company.
Yep.
Ah, you nailed it. Yeah. Susquehanna Hat Company. What's going on, man? What? I mean, you're usually the most relaxed guy on the stream. What the
I
hell?
know, I'm a little tense. Well, it looks like I guess shell shock or something a little bit.
Yeah, what's going on?
Just some little things. I mean, I had a great time at Heroes Con. It couldn't have
I was gonna say that's such a
couldn't have
relaxed.
been anything related to that at all.
No.
I mean, that'd be impossible because I was just surrounded by pals, and,
Yeah.
you know, supportive people. So that's out.
I heard you a lot of hugging going on there.
There's a lot of hugging, a lot of embracing.
Well, that's one of the really nice things about the comic book community, I think, is that we all feel like we're in the trenches, so we're all comrades in arms.
Yeah, we all got each other's backs, which I like.
Backs.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh-oh. First casualty already. This is so.
Did you put yellow on it already?
No, I might have to because every time I mess up a drawing, I put yellow. Oh shit!
No.
This is
What
like
did you mess up? What did you mess up?
It's like ink everywhere.
What that looks fine. It's a style. It's a choice.
Yeah,
Is it though?
a
Is
little
it a
white
choice?
out. Come on, a little white out.
I'm not a big whiteout guy. Let me tell you a little something about Scott Williams. What always impressed me about Scott Williams. He never uses white paint unless he's doing a special effect.
So you're saying he never makes a mistake?
Well, if he does, no, I guess he doesn't. Like technically, he doesn't make a mistake.
Now here's the thing. Apparently, someone who I know who's a Ditko historian said the same thing about Ditko. You could look at original pages of Ditko, and the only whiteout you see is when he's doing effects like explosions and things like that. It's like he gets it down, and you know, it's good enough.
Yeah, those guys used to use the razor blade. They used to use the side of the razor blade.
Razor blade was great. Bill Ray taught me that. I'm going to put everybody on. I'm going to put myself on mute so I can use an electric eraser to get rid of these smudges here. I got Joe. The conversation rattled me a little bit.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to go on mute. Hold on.
I think Dan, you should talk these things out. You know, he's on mute. He's on mute. We could talk about him all we want now.
Oh,
So,
Well, I just unmuted so I can hear you, but I can't. I'm going to go back on mute so you can't hear this. Here, you hear that?
that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Where is Ben? Where's Ben?
Ben?
Yeah, where's Ben? Not Ben who, Dan. Where is Ben?
Where is Ben?
I think Dave let him go. Dave, did you let Ben go? Did you give his
Yeah, he just wasn't pulling his weight.
Oh, he was the best
boy.
one. He's way better than me. You should have him back on. He deserves my spot.
Well, we can make that happen.
Oh, damn it. You weren't supposed to go for it.
Is Ben okay? Is everything okay with Ben?
Yeah, he's fine.
Ben's on his way to the Saskatchewan or whatever hat company.
Susquehanna.
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 The Scott Hanna Hat Company.
Oh yeah, Scott Hanna Hat Company. Yep.
All right, let's see. Switch my screen here at some point.
Wait, Joe, you wearing a Waffle House shirt? Okay.
I love Waffle
I knew that
House.
would come up.
Oh my God!
I heard you were the guest. Had to wear the Waffle House, man.
You know, it is the place that makes the worst waffles is the place that has the name waffle in its name.
Listen, you don't go to Waffle House for the waffles. You go for the
Right.
hash browns, and you go for the ambiance.
the bright,
And the scattered, smothered, and covered.
Okay, but one of your previous guests that knows a guy in Hawaii says it's great waffles.
What?
Yeah.
No.
He does.
Well, listen, it's almost impossible to screw up a waffle. Well, not impossible, but it's pretty impossible to screw up a waffle. You know, a waffle's a waffle.
True.
You know.
Does Waffle House have the most shootings of any breakfast place?
No. Well, breakfast place, yes, but Chuck E. Cheese probably has the most shootings.
You're saying those kids in Chuck E. Cheese are shooting each other?
No, they aren't. It's always a parent who didn't get high score.
Parent.
All right,
too much time in the men's room.
All right, guys, listen. We actually have an art question here, which is really kind of what this thing is about, right? We never talk about art.
Let's talk about art.
So, question for Dan and Jimmy. Look at that.
Oh, and Jimmy. Hopefully, it's an inking question for us.
Who would win in a fight? Dan.
It's from Gar again. I keep hearing about inking exercises artists do. Are there any inking exercises you know of or personally like? Keep it clean. That's keep it.
Okay.
Keep it clean was part of the request.
No, I'm just saying.
No, that's what you do when you're inking. You keep it clean. Unlike
you got to clean it up.
Yeah, who's messing it up over there?
I have a few. What do you recommend? I know what I did.
Well, when I started, I used to blow up the Fazetta and the Jack Davis pages, and then I would try to get my brush so I can like copy what they were doing with a brush, no pen, just to fine tune my brush work.
I would take like regular 11x17 Bristol board and just draw straight lines, like in the Japanese style where you hold the brush straight up like this and just practice straight lines and then practice circles.
Circles?
Yeah.
I can tell you the thing that changed for me was
but interestingly enough,
I'm just saying. Just hold on.
Nobody asked.
Was but this is a good thing if you don't know it. Going thin to thick as opposed to thick to thin. Because when I first started trying to ink, I was trying to go thick to thin where the point ended, and it never ended where I wanted it to end. And it wasn't until
now you're a thin man.
I'm a thick to thin, or thin to thick. Yeah, there you go. So
that's what she.
said. It's the tools now are different, right? Because you have different tools you can use now. So, it used to be brushes and just crow quills, but now they make 10,000 different kind of markers and pens that you can really go crazy with. So
true.
It's a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
I still prefer a brush over everything though.
The brush, the kind you would dip, Jimmy? Old school?
Yeah, old school. There's a great marker that I use. Let me get one so I can read it off. It's actually a laundry marker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, let me get it. Let me get one.
So while Jimmy is looking for his pen, I have to say one of the first. Dan and I have been friends since we were basically children. But I remember one of the first time I went to his house and we were drawing together. I actually saw all these pieces of paper with all those just straight lines and hatch marks and circles, and there were dozens of them. And I thought, like, what the is going on here? And then I
Did you think you were in The Shining?
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening with this? I had no idea. And then I saw him sit down and start to work, and then he took like the first 5 or 10 minutes and then warmed up. And that was the first time I'd ever seen like an artist behave kind of like an athlete, where you're like, oh, I guess you got to do your stretches, you got to warm up, you got to do your things. And it was impressive. And actually, that was a lesson I learned early on from Dan about, I have to be a better artist.
And person.
Oh, yeah, no, I always have to be a better person, but I'm not really trying.
Dan's still working on that.
Yeah. I failed at that.
So there's this, it's a fabric marker made by Marvy Markers, and it's a fabric marker. I'm going to hold it up. And this tip, that's hard to see. I'll put a piece
that's
of
pretty
white.
cool looking.
It's, let me get a piece of white. So you can see.
Wow.
That's kind of what the point looks like, but you can do cover big areas, but it has a really fine point to it, and it's waterproof. So it's not going to turn purple over the years. It's not going to, you can put white paint on it and
You should have
everything.
given that to Gil Kane.
Yeah, Gil Kane's purple pages. Actually, Alex Toth as well.
Yeah.
A lot of, I have a whole Speed Racer story that's all purple.
Well, yeah, and the Mike Golden early days when he was doing G.I. Joe, that G.I. Joe story, and the Marvel Presents with Spider-Man and Hulk.
Is
Yeah,
there anything you can do as
pages
a
are
collector?
disappearing. No.
Is there anything you can do? Like you could just like maybe put like 3M.
Nope.
No.
No, because over time it gets wider too. The line gets fatter as it starts fading away.
Yeah.
You know,
sad.
yeah, you know,
Maybe
it's like the
pay
dude
somebody to painstakingly go over and re-ink everything, but
Yeah.
you know, who's going to do that?
That woman who did the whole Jesus thing wasn't like the.
Yeah, she's the go-to.
Yeah.
She could probably fix it.
I heard she's looking for work, so you know.
So weird.
Yeah, it's weird that nobody would hire her.
I think she gets some work at Boom.
Oh,
ouch.
Hey,
Wow.
hey now.
Ooh,
Wait,
man.
whoa, where'd that come from, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy.
What's wrong with
All right, so if you guys want to know what I'm drawing, here's what I'm drawing. If it matters.
oh, right on. Very
There you go.
cool.
So
What?
yeah.
What?
Oh, whoa, we saw for 2 seconds there.
Well, it's because you're talking, Dan.
Oh, that's true. I
Stop
was.
talking, Dan.
Joe,
So,
just tell us about it.
it's just a page. I can't tell you what it is. Just a page. No characters you're aware of.
Oh, I know what that is.
No, you don't. You have
So-
no idea what that is.
So I know.
I know what that is.
One of the
I
things
see elephants.
I'll be a fanboy for a second. One of the things I love about your work, Joe, is like your compositions are always so strong. Like you spot blacks in a really beautiful framing way. It's
Yeah.
really great.
Thanks.
Nice work.
Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah, but I think that it's a job it's a craft that a lot of people don't understand.
No,
there's
I-
actually
yeah,
a science and a process to
Yeah.
it, and that's
Yeah,
one of
no,
the things.
there is, especially when it comes to storytelling and trying to guide the reader's eye,
Mhm.
along the page. And, you guys understand this. You've been doing this long enough. I'm sometimes floored at how many pros don't understand it. And generally I don't do layouts like, I'll zoom out a little bit. I don't know what you guys can see, but generally,
It's the whole page.
That's cool.
okay, hang on a second.
I love the way that case kind of overlaps the other stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? That actually bugs me, and I'll tell you
Oh,
why. Because
what's
I
for that?
generally here I'm gonna I'll tell you it was the way it worked out, right? But I'm gonna draw over this for a second. So we got this sort of craft up here. Can you see that highlight in red? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What is
so
that?
we got the it's just like a sci-fi craft here. Going over the jungle and stuff. Got some lovely elephants here. We got some
Sounded like an elephant
zebras,
That sounds like
Wait,
an
are you
elephant.
doing sound effects? What?
That's Jimmy. I've heard that elephant. I know it like
That's the sound
my
his
hand.
penis makes.
Okay, whoa,
Scraping
whoa.
against the window.
Hey.
When I pull it out of your mother. Okay, anyway.
But again, I'm trying to keep everything moving in sort of a left to right motion, right? Because here in the West, this is the way we read, right? We read this way, we move this way. And again, trying to get the eye to move along with this hand. We're seeing this character here, but I generally very rarely do this kind of a layout where I have a vertical figure here, just because it's not traditionally a good way to have the eye follow, because realistically speaking, your eye is going here, which is fine, and it goes here, and it's sort of missing this panel here. So I'm anticipating that there'll be a dialogue balloon here and a dialogue balloon here, and it'll help guide the eye. My particular philosophy about drawing comic pages is, if you can't, I'm hoping that you guys can kind of tell what's going on here without any words, even though you don't know what the story is, you don't know what the plot is, but you kind of get a sense of what's happening and maybe what these characters are talking about and the flow of the page. When that doesn't work, I feel like I failed completely. When I see other artists do it, and it's like, well, if I can't understand what's happening on the page without dialogue, to me, that page has failed. So this is not my ideal, but I really kind of I was trying to break up the monotony of some pages that came before, and trying to work with the blacks. I mean, I'll show you one last thing, and then I'm going to get it off this page because I'm talking too much. But here's something that I'm sort of battling with right now. You guys could actually give me the answer, right? So if we see this panel here, and you see all the blacks that are spotted, I'm toying with those blacks there or not having them there. I have Richard Easenoff coloring it. I kind of think that while these blacks might give it weight, I find them distracting. But I put them in, and I'll go back and forth for a day on this until I figure out which one.
I think the blacks pull. I think they pull too far to the right.
Yeah.
And they're not necessary. You want it to drop down more.
Yeah.
Not off the page. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Well,
and
I mean,
then
the argument could be made though that her figure in the second panel, it's almost like an extension down. So if the word balloons it to the left, it pulls your eye to the right where he wants it to go.
Yeah.
At that point,
Yeah.
so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer with this one. You know, but it's and also with Richard coloring it, Richard's probably gonna go into these areas and color them. You know, these are TV screens, so he's gonna probably color them dark, and he's probably gonna
Okay, TV. Yeah, okay.
So I don't know, Dave, you're good at this. I hear you're good at this, Dave.
I've always been a fan of. I used to tell artists, like, for me, inks on a page, you could almost like scrape all the ink down, and it would be 50% of the page. You know, so to me, well, I mean, and back in the when we all started, coloring was shit. So to me, the more black on the page, it would mean less coloring, because the coloring was usually done by somebody else, and it was terrible. So
that is very true.
You know, I wanted a page that really looked like heavy, but a good balance between white and black. So I say add more black, but nowadays with computer coloring, it's not as important.
You know, I think ultimately it's going to be about what happens here in this panel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which one? That one? Yeah, the one that you won't show us. Thanks a lot.
Oh, no, I just haven't gotten to it yet. You know, but basically what's going to happen here is, we cut back to this dude here, sort of over the shoulder, and he's opening up the case, and we can see what's in it, right? And his hands here and his hands here, right? So, and this case will have some hard shadow in it, and I'm looking for at least 60 to 70% of the page to either be white or black, one or the other. I'm just going to wait to see what I spot here, and then figure out what I want there. But
I think a hard black at the bottom corner there will pull the eye in just the way you need, and it'll all come together.
Yeah. So, thank you, gentlemen.
We'll find out one day.
Yeah, one day. Jimmy, who was your favorite? Who was your favorite guy to ink besides Joe?
Who you asking me?
Yeah, besides Joe.
You guys know
you guys
know the answer to that?
No, well, I said besides Joe.
No, I'm saying you don't know the answer to that.
No, I don't.
Oh my God, go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, wow, you know the answer, Joe. Tell me. I'm curious.
Amanda.
Oh yeah, of course. I was.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
your wife.
That was my next. That was my answer. Was Amanda.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think of, because that's too obvious, right?
It's so obvious. We all knew that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of something outside that.
I didn't. Yeah.
I don't know. I like JR Jr. I love inking JR Jr.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Because he likes if you go a little heavy or you go a little crazy with it. He doesn't mind. He's not one of those guys that starts yelling. That's not exactly his line.
Well, he's kind of old school. I mean, he comes from the days of or at least watching his father with the
Days of Dragons.
No, but with the Ramita Raiders, I mean, you can't. It's kind of hard to be precious when Hey.
Listen, let's face it. John Romita Jr. only got a job in comics because his dad and mom were in comics.
Nepotism, yeah.
It's always like nepotism.
Yeah. God,
he got lucky.
Stan Lee, he only got a job in comics because his uncle owned the company.
Oh man, JR is so good. He's one of those guys who that he draws so well it looks deceptively simple. Like when you start to study him and you're trying to figure out why does this work so well? His intersections of lines and shapes they're almost hypnotic
and obnoxious.
Oh, it's super. They're obnoxious.
What's interesting about Romita's stuff is he only uses 1 point perspective on everything.
Really? You're gonna make me actually question that.
No, go back and look. I've talked to Johnny. He's like, he does these massive cityscapes. And it's all 1 point perspective.
Yeah, he doesn't mix it up too much. He goes straight camera. He's got a style, He's got a definite style.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to mimic him on that motion comic, the Black Panther that he did, and they needed extra panels, and I couldn't do it. I eventually just had to give up and I just did my own stuff because I just couldn't ape his style. It was insane.
Mike Mignola is interesting to ink.
I've never inked him
because Mike puts it all there, but he, there's a hope for a dry brush here and there with him. You know, like you could if you want to push it a little bit, you can actually do a little fun stuff on Mike's stuff. And he doesn't. At least the times I've inked him, he's never been anything but like, yeah, that looks cool. You know, pretty laid back kind of guy, actually.
Hey guys, can I make a note here?
Yeah,
So much better without Ben.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Here we go.
I don't like that. I miss Ben.
You miss Ben?
I do miss Ben. He's got such a smile. He's such a handsome smile.
God, he is handsome.
I mean, he's beautiful.
Wait, what did I miss? What did you guys do to Ben? What happened?
But Jeff, when you weren't here, Ben was so thankful you weren't here.
That's the irony.
Yeah.
Listen, Joe, it's unrequited love. I understand that.
Clearly.
We'll call it love, sure.
Yeah.
What did you guys do to Ben? What did you do to Ben?
What have we done to Ben?
We overworked him. And this is a lot of work running this thing, as you can tell.
Renfamous is asking if somebody forgot to pick him up at the airport.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think having all his kids and everything, that's a lot of work.
Who's that?
Oh, look who's here.
Who's that?
Hey,
It's my favorite person to ink is here.
Aw.
Hi, Amanda.
hi, it's drink and draw, so I brought Jimmy some.
Oh, you brought me a beer. Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, I was.
All right.
I'm already
Look how jealous Jeff got there.
I did super jealous.
Wow.
Question for Jimmy. How has your experiences felt so far with digital inking compared to traditional?
Good question for Jimmy.
I've never. I don't think I've digital inked maybe once.
I think you play around on.
Yeah, I mess around with it, but
Yeah.
I honestly, there's something about the texture of the paper, and nobody hires. I don't get hired as an inker these days, so I don't really do anything.
I noticed that nobody's hiring you anymore as an
No.
inker.
Once I beat Dan with the amount of books I did, that was it. I quit.
They're like done.
Hey, Jimmy,
Dan, what are you thinking? More books, me or you?
I don't know. It's probably pretty close. I was
Yeah.
thinking like 3 books a month is
Yeah,
pretty
same here.
regularly.
Jimmy, I seen you post some doodles that you do on the iPad, like on Procreate and stuff.
Yeah.
If you should give this a try, there's a thing called, I think it's called Paper-like, and it's
Paper like we have that.
We
for
actually
the,
have
okay.
them, and we haven't stuck it on them yet.
yeah, we got it, but we didn't put it on there yet. I hear it's great.
it makes a difference. It actually gives you a little tooth. You know.
Oh, that's that guy Anthony Desidue. Actually, he does.
I'm very uptight about putting things on iPads. I have to do like the whole. I'm a little retentive. I have to like do the whole thing where you take a hot shower and then it's all like humid in the room, and then you got to get the dust off of everything. And I know it's nicer than it is, but it's really not that hot.
Wait, what do you have to
It sounds hot.
shower?
It sounds hot the way you're talking
Why
about
do
it,
you
though.
have to take a hot shower though?
Yeah.
It like takes the dust. I think it weighs the dust down and takes it out of the atmosphere.
Go ahead, explain.
What's happening?
Get a really
No wonder they're a great team. Those two.
shower, a hot steamy shower.
Right. Then what?
Rub yourself up really good. Lots and lots of suds.
And then you put that thing on the iPad.
Yeah.
And then weird, nothing ever happens.
Are you guys about to start throwing a pot? Is that what's going to happen?
Sorry, I like music with what she's talking.
You know what? If Ben was a little bit better of a host, he would add music while we're talking. You know, like on the Howard Stern show, if something happens, they do a little sound effect.
Yeah, but
Ben doesn't do that with us.
Well, we got to be careful because if there's music on it, then YouTube will kick us off for a violation of copyright.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Ben just sits there and looks handsome. That's all.
God, he looks. I mean, he does that exceptionally well, and he doesn't get paid enough for that. But
All right, so we got Gar Hyde is on fire today. He's asking a lot of great questions. We got a question here, which I know is a perfect question with Jimmy being on. So, question for all: any weird stories about odd art jobs you've taken over the years, like from odd companies outside of comics? Jimmy, go.
yeah,
Okay.
Jimmy's got a few.
Okay. Odd jobs I'd take it.
Mhm.
There's that Marvel Knights one that was kind of.
Yeah.
No. God, a lot of them. I have to look around because I have like items and I'm like, I can't believe I worked on it. I think there was like some weird thing with Danny Figueroa that was like a Stan Lee interactive thing. I was just talking to somebody about it today.
Oh, I did that. Is that for Byron Price?
Yeah, for Byron Price.
Yeah, that was a weird gig.
Yeah, and then like stuff like I wrote Nike commercials for LeBron James and Vince Carter.
Okay, you know what? We all got interesting stories. You don't have to make something up.
No, I'm telling you, it was called Hoop Town, and it was like these shorts.
Well, Jimmy, you were hired for your basketball expertise. Clearly.
I actually went in there. I actually went into the agency, and because I had to pitch it. I remember because Brian Bourne was actually pitching as well, and I said, you want a street guy doing it. You don't want somebody that doesn't understand the game. And I was laughing because I know you get the ball in the hoop. I know
you got to do that. That's super important.
It's actually a basket, but it's okay.
Yes, and I know there's 2 teams, but that's about, and you can get beer there, and that's about all I know. But I actually got to write these commercials. I wrote all the dialogue for Vince Carter and LeBron James, and they went in and recorded it. And that was an out there gig for me, like way out of my safe zone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
Is that Frank?
It's
Frank's
Bendis.
calling in. He listened. He's like he's pissed.
It's Bendis trying to get on the stream again.
Oh, is he? God. Of course, at the 0 hour, he wants in.
No, now he's just busting chops.
Amanda left. She had enough of this.
Bye, Amanda.
She hates Bendis, though.
She said if there's no Ben, she's leaving.
Yeah, no Ben. Forget it.
So
if she can't watch Frank ruin Joe's studio, she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to watch.
So I have an odd job story. Actually, it's not that odd, but.
Well, wait a minute. We're not going to let Bendis in the chat.
No.
It's too late.
Again, he does this all the time.
I know, but he's also Brian Bendis.
No. Okay.
Right.
All right. Now he's repeatedly texting. He's Bernie Birnbauming me.
He just Bernie Birnbaumed you.
Yeah, from Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
Look into your heart, Joe. Be honest. Look into your heart. No.
God, I'd let him in. And
no, not right now.
Joe doesn't.
I'm one of the founders
that.
of Drink and Draw.
No, but here's the thing, right? Wouldn't you rather have him for a full episode, right? He doesn't want to commit to full. He comes in.
Ideally.
But look, more importantly than anything, right? It's rude to our guest, right? So he upstages Jimmy by coming in at the last minute like that. It's not cool. He tried to do it to Scotty, right?
Oh yeah, he did try to do that to Scotty. I forgot.
He tried to do it to Omi, right?
Yeah, Omi did. Well, Omi kind of makes a little sense. They have the history together, and I can see him getting a little jealous.
Yeah, but I could. They've worked together for a long time. It's just like Omi deserves a spotlight. Just him.
He does.
Not doing.
Well, I think maybe you can put Brian on and then just get rid of one of you guys for a while.
How dare you?
I'll go. I'll just go.
No, wait.
Well, we did get rid of Jeff for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, we had some great podcasting or whatever, live streaming, whatever you want to call it, whatever the kids are talking about. Jeff wasn't there.
I only watch it when
Jeff. I only watch it when Jeff is on.
Really? So you didn't watch? Wow, Jeff's got some. Yeah. He's got a lot of dedicated people.
Jeff has the biggest art in the group.
I do have the biggest art.
That is true.
When it comes to art, mine's the largest.
I mean, Dave's art is the size of his fingernails at this point. Look what he's doing.
Dave, what's up with that?
Hey, I blame you. You're the one who gave me these postcards.
I didn't mean it. That's coming out great, Dave.
It's the only paper Dave has as an artist.
Yeah, that's all I can afford.
Right, found art.
I want to tell my weird job story here because
tell it.
Because there's a connection here. We'll have a connection here. So I had I gotten a call. I was actually doing some stuff for Hugh Jackman, and then that project was done, and I got a call from Hugh, and he asked if I would do some comic artwork for the Logan movie. Of course, I said, yeah, sure, fantastic, right? So he was thrilled, and I got the script because it was the whole meta thing in the movie. If you guys, sorry, spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, but there's this whole meta thing where there are actually some X-Men comics in this universe that were based loosely on the exploits of the actual X-Men who are in the movie. So cool. he wanted me to do it was like 4 comic book pages and a cover that Wolverine picks up and pages through it. It's like the quintessential one. It's got pieces of a puzzle in it. So I took the job, and then I start start penciling this thing, and I find out that job was actually Dan's. Dan had the job. So I don't remember how I found. I don't. Oh, I think I
remember Dan crying about it. I don't remember.
I remember weeks and weeks of him bitching every day about it.
Oh my God!
There's a lot of this. A lot of this.
Yeah.
So I found out from like one of the production assistant guys there who was in charge of putting this project together, and he was kind of like a little freaked out when I said, he's like, so he wants you to do this. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, then I got to kind of tell the artist that's on it that he's not doing it. I'm like, wait, hold on. Somebody else is on it? It's like, yeah, a guy named Dan Panosian. And I'm like, wait, I can't do that. I can't do that to Dan. So I guess he talked to you, then I talked to Dan. And it turns out Dan there were like 6 other comic books or something in this, right? So Dan was like, no, you do that. You do the 4 pages. I got all this other stuff. And so I talked to the production assistant again, and I said, listen, I can't do this if we're taking money out of Dan's pocket. He's like, no, you're not taking money out of Dan's pocket. I'm like,
we weren't going to pay him anyway.
Yeah.
Hang on. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway, so also part of my compromise was like, hey Dan, you want to ink the pages because they have to have like this, early 1990s, look to them, and he was going to do this whole, sort of image inking style on it. So that's what we did. We had some fun doing it. And then the movie came out, and I realized I never got paid for doing the work. And then discovered that the reason I wasn't taking money out of Dan's pocket was because they had no intention of paying me. And
Hugh Jackman isn't hiring.
No, but then I, so Hugh and I were talking, and he's like, "Thank you so much, man. Those pages were fun. It was great. It was a great movie." And I said, "Hugh, I just got to tell you," and I'm laughing. I'm like, "I never got paid." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I never got paid." And I said, more importantly, you guys have to at least pay me. I mean, the Fox has to at least pay me $1, if not technically. Like, I own all that art, the imagery, everything. If I was a stickler for that stuff, I could go after them. So eventually, I got like a very, very small check. But I thought it was very funny that the reason I wasn't taking food out of Dan's mouth was because they had no intention of buying food.
So Dan, did you do it? Did you ink it, Dan?
I inked it and I colored it and
did you get paid?
I got paid well. Yeah.
What's funny is like it looks so much like a 90s comic.
Well,
it was perfect.
It was supposed to be, I think they gave me more of a direction, like it was supposed to be like a late 80s comic. So it was somewhere in between there. It had that sort of transition feel to it. So yeah. I didn't ink it. I didn't ink it like Scott Williams, that's for sure. I inked it more like Bob Wyacek or something.
Yeah.
Or my approximation of that.
But you aged it. You aged the pages.
Yeah, I aged the pages. I tried to color it in single colors, which is harder than it sounds to make it look good.
I haven't seen Logan.
And you didn't see that? It's a great movie.
I didn't see. I don't know why. It's like one of those movies I missed. And every time it's on cable, it's like in the middle of it or something.
Oh no, it's a cool thing.
You would actually love it because it's really a Western.
It's really great.
I want to see it. I do want to see it.
It's one of the best. It is. I think it's the best X-Men or Wolverine movie.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
really
pretty
cool.
fantastic.
But it was kind of neat. Joe called me up. I was at an airport, and he goes, "Okay, are you sitting down?" I go, "No, I'm about to be flying." And he goes, well, "Okay, fine." And he's like, and he went into the whole thing. It was really kind of a neat thing, since like Wolverine and Logan is one of my favorite things to do, and Joe was the first guy I ever had like a real regular book with at DC. Yeah. Spelljammer to all those fans out there.
Good book. Yeah.
Jimmy, we got a question. Did Katsuhiro Otomo produce any work on Ash when it was scheduled at DreamWorks?
I think he took a phone call or two with Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Wow.
But I think that's it. I think there's like 6 scripts that were never made, and we would have loved a Tomo, right, Joe? We would have been seeing like Ash number 9, I think, by now.
Yeah. If a Tomo maybe stepped in, people might. Yeah.
It would have been all right.
It was the right thing to say to us.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You
but
know?
it wasn't. No, they already had it at that point. They already had the property at that point.
Right.
That's when they, when they were starting production. That's who they were shooting for.
Right. They were shooting for it to come in. Yeah.
And then nothing.
No, I mean, there was a couple of interesting screenplays. They all, I think Rand Ravitch is one that comes to mind, and a couple other ones. But
is it weird to read a screenplay of stuff you guys wrote? Is that weird?
it's weird when it's off. It's way off. That it gets weird. If it's like they didn't even read the book, it's extremely obvious. I've had one where they just changed the names of the main characters. And I was like, what are you doing? And, I thought this name sounded better. I'm like, yeah, and that's why you just lost your job.
They changed. That's balls. I mean,
it is balls. But you always, it's funny because sometimes you think they're buying the properties just for the name, based on what you get in the screenplay. Sometimes, you think, oh, maybe they just like the name. That's why they bought it,
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's changed a lot. I mean, back when we optioned Ash, it was a different world, right? It was a world where they were making movies like Catwoman, right? Where it's just they had little to no respect for the source material, which was And look, with a property like Ash, at least I could understand it, right? It had only been around for a few years, but when as a studio, when you option a property that's been around and is iconic and it's been around for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, clearly it's still around because it's resonating with people. So why take that? And I understand adapting it for the screen, right? You got to distill it down to its bare essence, but why then take that and just change it wholesale for no other reason other than you may think that 40 years of being an iconic property really counts for nothing. In which case, then you've just invested your money in a really, really bad way.
Right.
And that was really, really much more common back when Jimmy and I had optioned this. But I think the proliferation of like really successful movies based very closely to source material has changed a lot of people's minds on.
I think there were very few movies that came out better than I thought Blade was one of those I was so happy with. Like when I saw
like Blade.
Yeah,
Blade's
that was
great.
good.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the comic, but the movie made me, all right.
Yeah. It's such an I can't say it's underrated, but it's underappreciated because it's forgotten. It's been so long ago. Yeah. But the thing about Blade, we forget. Not only was it a successful superhero movie, right, and a really great adaptation that showed that even a comic that traditionally has not been a great selling comic can be a really great movie. But that movie kind of redefined the vampire genre, right? And changed like the way, films were made about vampires for like at least the next 20, 30 years.
Absolutely.
Right? The way it changed the way you walk into a nightclub,
That too.
It was a black character, which was something, that was a big deal. It was just, Blade hit on a lot of things where I think Jonah Hex movie did the complete opposite. It was like the flip side. It was like it took everything that was good about it and said, well, we don't need that. We got the name and a star, and that's the beginning.
I should probably look it up, but do you think did Blade come out before the Twilight books were even beginning?
Oh yeah, decades.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I don't know when those books came out, so I'm not a fan of those books. So
Wesley Snipes is dying to do another one. I think he was a guest star on that What They Do in the Shadows. He played a Blade-like character.
Oh my God, I got to watch that now. I've been meaning to watch it, but I just haven't gotten.
You got to be kidding me! He was in that. He wasn't What We Do in the Shadows, was he?
No, there's
Not
the
TV show.
Oh, the TV show. Okay.
Yeah, he's like.
How did I miss that?
He's in it for like a phone call. You just have to see it. It's kind of fun. But Wesley Snipes, Amanda and I did this event in Europe like 2 months ago, and Wesley Snipes was at the table, and we were talking about Blade. Joe, remember he wanted to be a Black Panther?
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
Yeah, it's way back when, but
Yeah.
But he's like, we talked, and he's like, I would do another Blade movie in a heartbeat, and I'm like, I would watch it.
Yeah.
I'd want it. That's still in great shape. You could take Dan.
I don't doubt that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen,
I know high karate.
Jimmy, don't get Dan going. He's been a little aggro.
I've been a little aggro ever since Heroes Con, but I'm settling
Charlotte
down and
I
doing a lot of meditation.
I had Dan. I got invited to a fight.
Oh,
this weekend. Let's see. It's
is it like a UFC thing?
If you know the guys, it's
No, it's in a corner in Brooklyn.
it's let's see, it's Lobov, Lobov, Lobov versus.
Oh yeah, definitely see that. That's a bare knuckle. It's like an MMA guy. It's Artem Lobov, and he's like Conor McGregor's like best buddy and right hand man.
Right, and the other guy is Malakanachi, I guess.
Maglanetti, and he's a contender. That guy was like a top notch, top ranked boxer. I'm sure he was the champion.
I thought of you because I got invited. I said my buddy Dan would like this. He likes to watch men hit each other.
Oh, it's going to be great,
Jimmy. Where you know where the seats are?
No, it's like right. They said you get blood on you
All right, then I would go then. Yeah, but if you're up in the stands, it's
the guy that put it. It's the guy. One of the guys that put it together is.
Oh, really? Yeah, definitely go. Definitely go. That's going to be an interesting fight. Paulie should probably take that, but Artem, the Russian kid via Ireland, oddly enough.
Dan, if you weren't who you were, would you be fighting? Like, would you be doing this professional?
No.
I mess up that beautiful face.
Yeah, come on, he's too handsome for that.
No, I mean, I'd like to kid myself and think, yeah, sure, but that's those guys. I mean, that's
maybe if Dan could only hit people and not get hit.
Yeah, if I could just punch people and I could punch, sure. That's
one way
punching. Who's on my list of people? Let's see. I got a list.
I know. I'm on the list.
You know what? If I had the ability, I would definitely love to have done something like that. But that's a really tough.
Batman behind you?
Yeah, he's son of a bitch. Yeah, that's a different Batman. That's Dark Knight. No, that's actually the Neil Adams Batman. Next week it'll be Dark Knight.
Yeah, we'll get some black paint and bring it over, and we'll switch it up.
Change it up
every week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 14 after.
All right.
I think we've done our due diligence.
Jimmy, thank you for saving us.
Apologies to Dream Movie Cast. They asked a question, and we won't get to it tonight. But if you come back next week, I'll get to it. I promise.
All right, on.
All right, done.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we all learned something tonight.
Hey, do you think next week we'll have an outro song?
You're asking me?
Yeah. Well, you wrote it.
You don't like the song? No, I'm not gonna do it now.
What? What?
Ben is the guest next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. All right.
Maybe I'll play it live.
Okay.
All right.
You guys should get Jill Thompson on your show.
Oh, she's on the list.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about for the show, not your list.
Not your personal weirdo list, Dave.
I don't want to hear about your list, Dave.
Yeah.
Does she play an instrument? What does she do? Does she sing?
Jill Thompson?
I'm kidding. I'm talking about the outro. Yeah.
All right.
She's amazing. I know who she is.
Yeah, all right. It's like,
all right. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. It's good to be back.
We got to thank the people who are on here today, too.
Yeah, all the people.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you for the questions.
Yeah.
Spread the word, guys. We need to spread the word now. Now we kind of got the bugs out, right? Dan, do you think it's okay to spread the word to other people?
I think now we can actually start letting people know that we're doing this.
Are you guys talking about Ben again? What the hell? What did Ben do?
No, Ben's. We figured it out. Ben is the problem.
Ben is toxic, and we don't need toxicity on this show at all.
I miss him. I miss Ben.
Do you?
I do.
Oh man.
It's just
We'll keep
all right, you give him one more chance.
For you, Jeff.
All right,
we'll give him one more chance.
Let him fix it. Let him address
whatever
whatever
the issue. Stupid Cardinals hat, though. If he wears that damn hat,
what if he's a Steelers guy?
Yeah.
What if he starts wearing a St. Louis Blues hat?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, my little son is trying to come in here. So,
where is he?
All right, stopping. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Wait, is Batman? Is he wearing his Batman suit?
Let's see. Come on in, Christaki.
Stocky, let's see.
Do you want to see everybody? You want to be Uncle Dave?
There he is.
Hey, Kentucky! Yay!
Uh-oh.
Where's
Henry,
your Batman suit? Where's your Batman
Henry's here
suit?
too. Wow. Hi, Henry.
Oh,
Henry,
Oh,
are you
we have
gonna-
another
are you gonna
kid
fit
while we
us
weren't
out?
looking.
Henry, just
Yeah.
take that Batman with you. It's a gift.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Does he put it on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Just take it.
Dan, where did the other kid come from? Did he untie himself?
Wait, does he got a
What?
sword now?
Yeah. Stucky's got a Conan sword.
Oh my god! Take that sword away, dude.
Children
Hey.
with swords.
We can't wait till social services shows up.
It's perfect.
Hey.
Hey, Saki, Daddy has an itch in his back.
Scratch.
Do you
Hey,
see
Dan,
that?
when are you gonna tell me you're not your father?
What? Hold on a second. I'm do this so they can hear it. Hold on. Oh, there. Can you guys hear us?
Hey, Christaki.
No. Oh, I did it wrong.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. All right.
All
Well,
right, now
more
let's
things-
guess who's
this is why we
Daddy.
need Ben. That's why we need Ben for moments like that.
Yeah.
Dan, I was saying, when are you gonna tell him your dad is real dad?
Oh, that's coming up when he's like 16.
Hey, kids,
Yeah.
color in the original art with crayons. Get the crayons out.
You guys are terrible. All right, I'm gonna go play. Batman.
All
and
right.
Conan.
Yeah.
All right, signing off, gentlemen.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you, everybody, for
Adios.
Everything. Thanks, Jimmy, for saving us.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jimmy. Thanks, Joe.
No thanks to Tommy Lee.
yeah.
All right,
You know,
bye,
and he's a
guys.
mediocre drummer to boot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo.